Again, thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Dennis Smeltzer, president of TSANet. Looking at the attendee list, I think a lot of you know me, or I've talked to you. With me is also Paul Esch, who is our director of strategy and business development. We're going to do a little tag team on you this morning. What I'm going to do is cover really a lot of where we're at right now as an organization. I think you need to know that as members. And then I'm going to turn it over to Paul, and he's going to go through where we're going. So he's going to talk about the strategy for 2017. I'm kind of going to give you the what we did in 2016, let you know kind of the status of the organization. And then certainly at the end of this, we want to open it up for anybody that might have any questions. So as an official member meeting, I want to officially open up our 2016 annual member meeting for TSANet. And like I said, I'm going to walk through just a few slides. There's a lot of detail on this, and I'm not going to go into every little detail of it because I really want to spend more time to give to Paul because again, he's going to talk about where we're headed. I'm going to give you sort of an update. But to let you know, and just kind of a reminder, right, we are a not-for-profit. This is your organization. And this is a chance for us to tell you what's going on with TSANet, what we've done. We operate under a set of bylaws. We don't have any voting schedule for this meeting, but if you are an open group member, every open group member has a vote. And if that were to come up, then we would designate the global business managers to be able to do that. It's one vote per company. Again, we'll hold off on any new business until the end of the webinar, but I want to make sure that that you get an opportunity to ask any questions about that. You can contact myself or Renee Carroll is our current chairman with VMware. And if you've got any questions, you can go to him or any of the board members, which I'm going to show you here in just a minute. Again, you know, I can't emphasize this enough. I talk to this about members every day and new members. This is your organization. And we were founded under the bylaws and set up to serve the industry, and that's what we do. What we have done here recently within the last couple of years is began to expand our reach out a little bit, where we were traditionally all nothing but manufacturers, vendors. We started to branch into pulling in system integrator and service providers, as well as value-added resellers. So there's a lot going on there. Paul's going to kind of walk you through a little bit of that when we talk about our strategy and where we're headed. I'll talk a little bit about what we did this year in that area as well. And again, a drive home, we're a member-driven organization, and Paul and I both report directly to that elected board of directors. And we have elections every year. And speaking of that, here you go. So this is our board. I certainly want to take the opportunity to tell them that I appreciate everything they do. They're not paid to do this. They do it out of the goodness of their heart, and they work very hard in directing this organization. The people on the left over there are also elected within the board to serve as the executive committee or the officers of the organization. So thanks to everybody that serves on the board. Again, I'll remind you that we have elections every year. We'll do a call for nominations in March, and then we'll be doing voting in April. And every year we have a certain amount of seats that come up for elections. So if you're interested in doing that, you can get a hold of me. I'll be more than happy to walk you through the process of doing that. I think you find it very enjoyable. This is kind of where we stand right now with our membership. Again, I'm not going to go through a lot of details on this. I think the key takeaways out of this is, look, we're growing. And we pushed up over 500 members this year. A lot of that is really due to this custom group. So if you're a member and you're not taking advantage of the custom groups, which is the ability for you to host your own group and pull people in that you want, then you really should be taking advantage of that. That's where we're getting a lot of our new members. And then once they become a limited member in a one-to-one relationship with another company, a lot of those companies are then finding the value of upgrading into the basic or the premium TSANet. So that's been really good. Our open group membership has really taken off this year. We're also seeing a lot more people joining at the premium level. So that's been a good thing for us as well. Again, improvements in retention. 30% of our members have been with us for over 10 years, and 10% have been with us over 20 years. So I think that speaks volumes right there, especially considering all the merger and acquisition activity that happens in the industry. This year, our pipeline's a little bit smaller than previous years, but it seems to be a much bigger quality of the companies that are coming into the organization. This is kind of our financial overview to give you kind of where we stand now. As a not-for-profit, we're actually required by the IRS to put money back into the membership. So what we try to do is run a break-even budget. Sometimes we'll do a little bit better than that and build up a reserve, and then what we'll do is actually spend more than we're bringing in to bring you more services. We did that a couple of years ago, and we put a lot of money into the member web and doing some things like that. So this kind of give you an idea of where we stood for 2016 and about how much money we have, and then what we're expecting for 2017 is to pull that up to about $860K, and again, we're planning on a break-even budget for next year. Then the following year in 2018, we're kind of looking strategically that we might spend a little bit more money than we bring in, because some of the things that we're going to do, and again, that's what Paul's going to bring you up to speed on. As far as what we did, this is kind of what our objectives were for 2016, and then I'm going to walk you through kind of where we stood in getting those things done. So a couple of things we did was trying to reduce the percentage of non-use within TSANet. And this has been an issue ever since the organization was founded. This is not used all the time, so it can easily just kind of get lost if nobody picks it up and carries that flag. So we wanted to do some things to try to make that happen a little bit more, and we'll walk through that a little bit. I also wanted to get Case Exchange out. That again, that has been something that we've talked about and has been going on for the last couple of years. A lot of activity in it and a lot of interest in it. We'll talk about that. Again, we also going into the channel. That's been a little bit challenging. We'll talk about that a little bit. And then we wanted to grow the basic and the premium membership up to 116. That's a pretty aggressive target. That was adding quite a few open group members for 2016. But that was kind of the plan going into the year of what we were going to do in 2016. This is sort of where we ended up doing this. This is our member web and the Case Exchange improvements. As you're aware, we do a couple of releases every year to the member web. This year we added in a routing wizard, which is the ability for, instead of you having to sort through all the different tiles, you can actually say, what's the customer's entitlement level, whether it's 8 to 5 or 24/7. That will take you to the basic or the premium document. Then you can also take it by geo or even product type, and it pulls up that contact document instead of you having to sort through all the different tiles. We're in the process of adding that as well. We also did some things within the microsite. So those of you that have custom groups, we did some things as far as visibility and notifications and the knowledge exchange and the training exchange areas and things like that. Also did some improvements to the reporting. So again, we've done some things with a microsite that I think that all of you are going to start to take advantage of as well. In Case Exchange, certainly we've got a new connector coming up for Salesforce that will handle the Lightning as everybody kind of transitions over to the Lightning interface. And again, we're doing a lot of work within the member web and modifications to the contact document. And one of the things that we're also doing is working with some of our member companies that if a case is already open, we're integrating some things and doing some improvements there. So again, I think one of the takeaways that I'd like you to get out of this is as we start to do things, we're looking at working with our members on a one-off basis to actually do things within their CRM systems or within Salesforce. So if you've got ideas that you'd like to see the organization take on and maybe help you out, please let us know, because we'd like to take the opportunity to do that. This is one of the new brochures we came out with this year. This is on the member web if you want to go get it. And what we really did was kind of simplify this down. We've been toying around with a couple of different things, but this one was, hey, this is kind of, I call it CJ and Run. This is how TSANet works. So on the front side, you see our members, and we're over the 500 mark now. and then on the back is a very basic of this is how it works. So we found this to be very useful, not only at trade shows, but something that you can use to promote it both internally or to also to your customers. So again, this is out on the member web. You can get it. It's a very simple brochure that explains exactly what TSANet is and how it works. The other thing we did, and most of you, if not all of you, have gotten these, is we wanted to go in and show you what we were seeing on our side as far as usage within TSANet. And again, the idea here in 2016 was to make sure that we kind of kept TSANet in front of everybody. And we did a lot of this by this personalized communications of, you know, what is your usage. Now, as you know, we don't track calls specifically, but we can tell when our members go in and what web pages they hit and those kind of things. So we actually use that information to come in and say, hey, it looks to me like your engineers were calling these companies and letting you know of what that information was, so you had an idea of what was going on. And we'd send that out monthly to the basic and the premium members, and then quarterly to the callers and the limited members. So this is coming out. This is data that we're pulling in via the member web and then pushing back out to you. Okay, and an example of that over there on the right. Again, that's kind of how we did. The results of that, I think, was actually very good, right? So we were looking at well, I won't go through all the data, but you can see it there, and we're going to review this at the end of the year, but it was going down, right? We started to see more and more usage the more that we were sending out information, and we also started to do some training calls, getting people engaged in what we were doing. We've done webinars, had really good response to our webinars. I've had 70, 80 people that have signed up for our TSANet intro webinars, but we continue to do those, and we'll continue to do those in 2017. We also kind of got into this thing about with TSANet staff kind of zeroing in on specific members. So we've kind of taken up an account management role for certain member companies as well. So you'll see that continue on also in 2017. Okay, this was kind of where we wanted to grow up, to grow our membership in the open group area. We're going to be really close. I don't think we're going to quite hit 116, mainly because we've got some companies that we're still waiting on payment. They're already signed up and ready to go, but the payment takes a little while to get through that. One of these, I'll tell you right now, I think everybody will be pleased to hear this, is it looks like Google will be joining us, and they could be joining us before the end of the year, but definitely within the first part of next year. So we're right now at 111. We've got 4 premiums we're hoping to close, and again, improved member retention. We're keeping those companies, and that was a big thing. It seemed like in years past we'd gain about as many as we'd lose, and what we're really trying to do is focus in on that retention to keep those member companies and grow the membership, and we're seeing again improvements in that area. We also like to go in and see if we did lose them, you know, what we found out, why we were losing them, what happened. Again, we converted a lot of these people that were in the one-to-one relationships back into the open groups to get more value out of it, and we continue to go to shows like TSW Vegas, which is put on by the TSIA, and that gives us pretty good leads there. It's also a good show because it's one of the few that really focus in on the support industry. It's one of the few that it's good just to be there from a retention perspective because everybody sees us there. Okay, Case Exchange, again, this is yellow. We didn't quite get where we're doing. We've got a lot of interest in it, and Paul has been doing a lot of work on Case Exchange and getting people up to speed. Seems to be kind of then everybody gets going on it, and then to actually get it implemented through IT seems to be kind of a roadblock there. So we're working on doing it. There's still been a lot of interest in it, and I suspect that we'll probably see a lot more interest in it next year. Paul started doing some webinars and some intro calls. Again, things that we're doing in the annual survey, we've sent out stuff to talk about Case Exchange, reached out to a lot of members, and I'll tell you, if you're doing if your inbound contact document is send an email to support@xx.com, you just soon implement Case Exchange, because it would be very easy to do that through the Case Exchange tool. And if you're a member, there's no cost involved in it. So if you're not using Case Exchange or not familiar with it, I want you to reach out to Paul, and he'll walk you through how this works. It's a pretty lightweight solution, so nothing really heavily integrated in our solution for that. Again, grow the channel members. This is a difficult thing to do without member help, but we have made some progress. In fact, we just signed up a company, actually went live yesterday, called Westcon, and they came in on a global scale. So a lot of this is coming out of Europe. If many of you might be familiar with Ryan Rosalanka, who is a former IBM and a former chairman at TSANet, is working with us on a consultant basis, and he's been doing a great job of trying to get the channel members in there. So we're making progress with it. Paul goes to a seminar every year called ChannelCon. It's a very good organization, very well attended, and he's got articles that they've been putting into some of the magazines that are focused out for the channel. And we're working there. We're working with, where I think we're really going to break through on this is working with our existing members in the custom group area, and starting to see a little bit of traction there of what we're going to do. Again, if you've got a channel partner network and you'd like to see how TSANet could help you with that when it comes to collaboration, give us a call, because I think we can do a lot of things. And as we progress this with our existing members, I think you'll start to hear a lot more about it. Okay, I'm going to finish up with that, and then I'm going to turn this over to Paul, and then we'll go back in at the end of this and open it up for questions. So Paul, it's all yours.
Great, thanks a lot, Dennis. Moving on to the next slide. We'll dig right into the strategy. So one thing we do every fall as part of the Fall Strategy Day, bring the members together and try to understand what our current state is. And this is an updated current state for 2016. I'm just going to highlight some of the changes from previous periods. So on the strength side, we've always had strengths as far as we've been around for 20-some years. We've got all the best companies in the industry as part of the membership. So I think that's been kind of the foundation. What we heard this year as far as some changes there is the new features that we did introduce in the Member Web and Case Exchange. Members have seen those and seen the benefits of those, so they kind of view that as a strength now. From the weakness side, I think we continue to have challenges as far as awareness at the engineer level. So the engineers, as they're troubleshooting issues, being able to have TSANet at top of mind. And as Dennis indicated, that's something we've really focused on this year. And we've seen some improvements, but we still feel we need to continue to do that as well. And then from the opportunity standpoint, I think this year, and I'll kind of dig into this as we go deeper into the strategy, but one of the things that we've seen in particular with the custom groups is a lot more discussion happening at the strategic level with our members. So as they go to market with joint solutions with 2 or more vendors, that starts to really lead into more of a strategic discussion. Same thing with members extending to their partner programs, their channel programs, federal programs. So the view is that that's a big opportunity for us once we get in kind of a strategic discussion with members and help them with their multi-vendor solutions. Big benefit there. So those we really saw as the big changes this year on the current state. So if we move on to the next slide, this is kind of we'll call it the single slide that we try to boil down a lot of the input that we get from members, both during the strategy days as well as in kind of point-to-point conversations we're having through the year. First and foremost, always is the common thing of we need more members, we need more members. What I've done this year is kind of enhance that now to say we need more vendor and channel members. So we're starting to bring those on, as Dennis indicated, but we need to continue to do that. Improving how members collaborate, that is a recurring theme as well. And as I highlighted, members are now starting to see, the investments we've made in the member web, the effort we've placed on Case Exchange. There is improvements there, and they do kind of recognize that that now is starting to become a strength. And then the third one is an area here that I would say has changed the most over the past year or two. And this used to be more aligned towards creating custom groups and microsites and very kind of focused around these partner programs. And what we see now is this at the industry level focus on solution support, and whether that is solutions that are put together by your channel, solutions that you put together during a go-to-market strategy with another vendor. That is really how the industry is moving forward, and we see TSANet needing to expand to that. So in addition to kind of the core foundation of you can collaborate with other companies if you're dealing with a common customer situation, that obviously will continue to be a core of TSANet, but we see in addition we want to have the message be that TSANet has relationships, tools, and processes for you to enable solution support. So with kind of those two things in mind, TSANet should be the one-stop shop as far as your multi-vendor partner needs. So if we move on to the next slide, I'm just kind of going to walk through a little bit what each of those things mean in a bit more detail. The first one here, as far as growing the membership to include the channel, this chart really kind of highlights a little bit how we see that playing out. So you can kind of see here the past 3 years, as Dennis showed on the previous thing, we've had some good growth as far as vendor membership, and we've started to see a little bit of growth in the channel. And again, a lot of that growth in the vendor space comes from the partner programs that our members are launching, and we see that similar trend taking off in the channel area. So yes, we'll bring some direct members on. Dennis indicated one great member added this year, Westcon, very, very strong channel on a global level. So we'll bring in some of the, we'll call it tier 1 channel, but we see as far as scaling up very similar to the vendor space as members put their channel partner programs in place and extend those through TSANet. That's where we'll really start to see the growth. So that's how we see the channel play out. If we move into then the second key area, which is improving how members collaborate, we see kind of three areas here. Certainly Case Exchange, as Dennis indicated, we're seeing good momentum here. We need to see a bit more, and again, one of the things you really kind of stress as we have discussions with the board and kind of review where we're at with Case Exchange, it's really kind of the key to getting Case Exchange within the members is getting usages for TSANet overall increase within the members. So that's why we focused a lot on member adoption, engineer awareness, those types of things, because once you get the usage up, then the interest starts to be stronger as far as system-to-system integration. So we'll continue to push that. The thing that we see is a bit new, though, is providing more, we'll call it collaboration or team platforms for custom groups. So we have this today with the microsites. We have things like files, collaboration documents, things like that. But if you look at more modern kind of team platforms, you have threaded conversations, a few other features. We see cases in there as well. So we do feel that we need to, within the closed groups where members have either extended to their technology partner programs or solution partners, that there's a higher level of collaboration, and we need to provide the tools that enhance that. And following on to that is this more flexible model for these microsites. So today it's kind of a one-to-one relationship. So if you have a custom group, you get a microsite. And what we see is really making this much more flexible so that you could create a microsite if you needed to launch a particular project. So say you're upgrading a key customer and there's a couple other vendors involved, that could be a reason to create a microsite. Same with a common solution. So if you go into the market with a particular solution based on 2 or 3 members, that a microsite might be important there as well. So making that much more flexible as far as putting these microsites in place and collaborating at a deeper level. So then moving on to the solution support, and I would say that this is really the new part of the strategy. If I look at the previous two things that I shared, we're kind of evolving what we've been doing the last few years. This, though, as you can see and probably start to appreciate as I talk through this, is a lot larger change and I would say an area that's fairly new. So we do see a couple things here that are a little bit different than what we do today on the, we'll call it common customer collaboration. So first of all, I think the first bullet here is very common between the two, right? So TSANet is definitely the place where you get the best practices, right? So if you're going to collaborate today on multi-vendor common customer solutions, TSANet has been around for a while. We've got the legal and operational framework to do that and to do that properly. And we feel that needs to be extended and be kind of a core foundation for solution support as well. But we see then things change a bit, and really kind of the last two bullets are highlighting that. So the first is we see the scope expanding on solution support, and this has come from both discussions with some of our members on solutions as well as discussions with the channel, and that is that for solution support to really work, it needs to be beyond the scope of break fix. So support includes professional services, it includes managed services, it includes education services. If you're really looking at providing solution support, you need to look at the whole life cycle. So we see that's really one of the key changes there. And that also leads to making sure that we are focused on not just the services organization. So support services, of course, is important. But as you look at the design and deploy, professional services plays a very heavy role there. We feel that needs to be within scope. Managed services in a lot of cases is part of that ongoing delivery of the services, and then of course education services are part of that as well. So in order to provide best practice for solution support, we do feel that we need to increase the scope of that. So that's the solution support piece. If we move on then to the very high-level roadmap, this gives you a bit of a high-level view of how we plan to move forward with this. And I'll focus as we move past this slide a little bit more on exactly what this means for 2017, but I wanted to share with you at a high level as well. So for 2017, again, from a high level, you can see a little continuation of what we've done this year as far as, hey, let's continue to bring on technology and channel partner programs. Let's really focus on member adoption, trying to get members to use the service. And as we look at offerings and operations, a heavy focus on getting case exchange in more members' environments. And then the other area on the offering side is to start to pilot and to look at these next generation solutions and next generation processes that we need to have in place for solution support. Because then as we go into 2018, you really see on the offering and operations this, we'll be really looking at some type of next generation operational solution there to allow for both the traditional break-fix collaboration on common customer issues as well as solution support. So we need something a bit more capable to provide support for both of those use cases. So if we move then into the goals and plans for next year, the first one is to grow membership by 10%. As Dennis indicated, this year we had very aggressive targets. We continue to have very aggressive targets, so 10% growth is certainly going to be challenging, but we do feel that that's something that we need to continue to do. So again, that comes with kind of a focus in two different areas. The first being these technology and channel partner programs. As Dennis indicated, that's where we get our new limited members. That's where we get limited members upgrading then to open group members. So working with existing members to expand their partner connections through TSANet is really how how we'll achieve that. And that in addition to focusing on member retention. So we see that it's kind of playing out in two different areas. The first is member adoption, but we also see reputation starting to come in here as well. So and you'll see some of that as we go into 2017, where yes, some members use TSANet more than others, so we'll be highlighting that and kind of sharing best practices. Some members are viewed by other members as being, you know, great to work with and great to collaborate with. We'll start to highlight and showcase that and explain, you know, some best practices in that area. But we feel that that's really key to getting member retention up. Deploying Case Exchange, same as last year. Really kind of trying to get the core members on that, and then also that's where we see feedback on, you know, how do we enhance the solution, how do we improve it, and we've seen a lot of that this year, working with very specific members and making Case Exchange work for them. We get great feedback that really starts to enhance the solution further. And then the third area is to pilot the tools and processes for solution support. So we'll work with that. If you are doing solution support today or see that as kind of a key part of your go-forward strategy as a company, definitely reach out to us. There'll be opportunities for pilots and participation in that through this year. I'm very interested to work with some of our members on defining that and making sure we put something together that works well for you. So then, last slide here, and this is really a pitch, and I would say one of the big changes from a few years ago is this addition of what we call a strategy day, and I think it's been very well received in almost every single strategy day. We're getting, you know, 20 plus folks attending, very good interaction and great outcomes that help me put together these types of strategies. So one change for next year is that we plan to have 3 of them. Normally the last couple of years we've had 2 each year, a spring and a fall. This year we will have a spring, a summer, and a fall. And you can see here that they're all already set, both the dates, the host, and the location. So take a look at those. And if you're able to come, that would be great. If you have other staff or key individuals at these locations, let me know as well, and we can invite those. So certainly reach out to me if any of these dates and locations are of interest to you. We tend to send invites out, we do the blogs, all those types of things, but having members reach out and express interest in coming to these are helpful as well. And then in addition to the U.S. Locations, we do have in Europe a focus group, and they have started to do face-to-face sessions as well, and they do those twice a year, one in the spring, one in the fall. We'll have the locations being announced here certainly for the spring before we exit this year. And those are quite interactive as well. So again, if you have teams that are in Europe and you have some folks that you feel could benefit from collaboration with other members, and these tend to be workshops that include some things around TSANet, but in addition, it usually is some topics that are important to our members in Europe, and sometimes that's even outside of what we'll call very specific TSANet scope. So for example, one session they had a discussion or roundtable on the best nearshore locations as far as team location and engineer skill, that type of thing. So again, sometimes the topics are very important to Europe and things that they feel important to discuss. But if you're interested in these, please reach out to myself. I'll make sure that you get on the invite list for that. And that's it, Dennis. I'll hand it back to you if you have any questions.
Very good, thanks. So while we're going to wrap this up here, let me open this up for any new business. If you have any questions, please go ahead and submit those. We're going to leave this open for here just a couple of minutes if you want to type something in. If not, we'll go ahead and kind of close it down. But I guess what I'd like to do maybe is go back and emphasize you know, from a high level here, I hope what you're capturing out of this is we're not standing still, right? We're moving forward. We're trying to do things for the industry, make sure that we're up to speed. Our board meetings and our strategy days have been very productive. And again, it's so important for us to be able to serve our members, you, in the most efficient way and the best way that we can. And obviously, you haven't seen any member dues increases in a long time, and that's because of their structure is a not-for-profit. We've been able to keep things going and put money back into the membership without raising the dues. So we hope that you appreciate that. I don't see that there's any questions, so I guess I think we are covered. I apologize. I did not introduce Stephanie Benson as with us. She's lurking back there in the background over in the UK. Stephanie, is there anything that you wanted to say to the group today?
I don't think so, Dennis, other than that the session was recorded and I will send it out to people and they can pass it on to their colleagues, and yeah, nothing else from me.
All right, very good. So anyway, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate your time.